create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Plus, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So guys, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Anchor is sponsoring another ad.
Guys, do you like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is free, and there's certain tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone or computer. Best of all, with Anchor, you can add any songs from Spotify directly to your episodes.
And who doesn't like songs?
The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, a deep dive on your favorite genre or artist, or something the world's never heard before, like Ilya's name. Sorry. Anchor will even help publish your show to Spotify so you can reach hundreds of millions of listeners. Guys, if you have an idea for a show with music, get started by downloading the free Anchor app or going to anchor.fm. If you need inspiration, head over to blog.anchor.fm/music for some idea starters.
What's up, guys?
You can go.
No, you go.
What's up, guys? Dude, stop copying me.
I'm not copying you.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I know I didn't.
Guys, thanks for tuning out. Said it wrong.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lightweights Podcast. Today we have Brandon Rogers. He's a great and well-known YouTuber. Great is definitely a weird way to put it.
Yeah, it sounded forced. Brandon is a near and dear, lovely guy, great friend. I used to shoot videos for him on his channel. He'd shoot on my channel. There's a lot of stuff out there if you want to check it out.
What
He's
kind
got
of videos?
Special ones that we didn't upload.
One.
He's got.
You actually can't find him anymore. He's just never uploaded.
He's got 5-point-something million, and he's got a bunch of viral videos. And honestly, you might know just like random quotes of his from his videos because people would just upload those clips on Vine and they go super viral.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned him, and then I didn't recall, and then I fucking looked him up. I was like, holy shit, this guy. Of course, I know this guy.
Like so many of his videos have moments.
Yeah, I feel like everyone who listens to this will know Brandon.
There's at least one clip or one video that you've seen.
That's really cool.
Anyways, here's Brandon Rogers. Guys, today our guest is Brandon motherfucking Rogers.
Well, that's not my middle name.
What is it?
It's George.
Oh, sorry. Brandon George Rogers.
I like the first one, though.
Not to be confused with the guy from American Idol who also has the same name as you.
He does. Yes, he does. Still does. Still hasn't changed it.
Well, you should do something about that.
Well, that's what he gets for not listening to this podcast, because he would have gotten the idea, and he just missed out right now. So
Okay, be honest. Have you heard any episodes?
I've heard no episodes, but I have seen 2 billboards.
Oh, great. So it's working.
Yeah.
Yes. I am starstruck. I am with Ilya. Did I say
Yeah.
Ilya and Joe.
Joe.
James. Okay.
James.
And I'm starstruck. The guys from the billboards.
Yeah.
Was that in Nevada, the one that you posed next to, or was that?
It was not Nevada. It might as well could have been, but it wasn't Nevada. It was like 2.5 hours north of L.A.
Oh, okay.
San Bernardino.
A lot of traffic goes through there. Oh, that's perfect.
Not really.
Not really. It's like a ghost town over there.
Oh, is it? I'm just picturing Santa Clarita and the Grapevine. That's all I know. 2 hours north of here.
I feel like I already know you. Joe talks about you so much.
Shh, what the fuck?
I mean, you do.
Conscious-
Brandon Rogers this, Brandon Rogers that. Like, come on, bro.
Consciously
You getting
or in
ready?
his sleep? How many episodes deep are you?
Probably like 10.
15, but feels like 50.
Shit, those were 3 very
Okay, that
different
was
numbers.
fucking rude.
Oh, can you ask us how Brandon asked us how we met?
You met. Yeah.
He's like,
How
did you grow up with Ilya?
Yeah, I was curious like how you guys have met, because I literally, just anyone listening, you guys are witnessing with your ears me meeting Ilya, because I've never met him before. Yeah, how did you guys meet?
We met through David, and originally Joe hated me, actually.
I didn't hate him. I didn't. There's no more to it. I didn't hate him.
But what gave
Right.
you the sense that he hated you?
No, he didn't hate me, but but when so I know David from childhood, and I would always come visit. And whenever I come visit, like, you know, I'd be friendly with like Zane and Scott and like, you know, Todd and all of and
Oh, I know Todd.
yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, so I'd be friendly with everybody, right? And I would see Joe. It's not like that I wouldn't be friendly with Joe, but like him and I just never like I fucking talked for whatever reason, you know? He just kind of kept to himself, and I kept to myself when I was around him. And that was really it. And then when I moved here, I don't even know what happened, but I think he asked me to be in a mukbang one time, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then
I think that's why we meshed so well, because exactly what you just said was that we both just never talked, because we both don't really talk unless we have something to say. So our paths just never aligned because we both just had nothing to say to each other.
Right, yeah.
Interesting. So how long have the two of you been like working? When was that?
How long have the two of you been dating?
How long have you been
3
dating?
months.
No.
3 months. Yeah, the top would say that, or the bottom. I don't know. I'm not getting into that.
Decide this for us. Who's the top? Who's the bottom?
I will say I did fuck up there, because I will say in all honesty, you got some bossy bottom energy. But
Yes! No! Yes!
yes, you do. Very bossy. You got a bossy little hole. But
Yeah, fuck you, Joe.
but when was that mukbang? Like, when did you?
Probably like 8 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So this is a COVID friendship.
Yes.
We don't exist in the real world yet. We haven't tested our friendship if it works.
In the real world, you guys would hate each other.
Right.
This guy's an asshole in the real world. Get him in public. Oh, he's king of the hill. All right. Joe and I used to do all kinds of. We used to do a lot of sketches when we first met. You exercised all these different. It was like a character boot camp. It felt like, because you'd come over and we would play like he had me play like 3 characters at a time.
The way that Brandon and I met, me and Annalise found his YouTube channel. And we started watching every single video, and we got in that black hole. And then literally the next day, Brandon liked one of my Instagram videos.
It's because I sensed you fell down a bee hole.
Yeah, I slipped into Brandon's hole, and it was insane. Me and Annalise were freaking out. I'll never forget it, because it was just like the timing of it was so crazy.
When was this?
3 years ago? 4 years ago?
I can't believe it, but you're right. Because Blame the Hero, we had worked on that, and after knowing each other substantially at that time, and that was 2 years ago. So yeah, about 4 years ago, I want to say.
What was your first video? What did you guys make?
Oh,
The bird watcher? No, the bird.
with the band. Yeah, I had a bandana around my head.
We went to a hiking trail, and he had a bandana, and he was just calling out like all these different birds. And then we also did a CIA one, and I think you were in a dumpster for that one at one point.
You did have me in a dumpster at more than one occasion, and I want to say it was one of the first ones we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, "What the fuck am I doing? Do I like this guy's work that much?"
I'm in a dumpster.
I'm in a dumpster, and then I don't remember why, but the door had to close at one point. Yeah, because you had to knock on the door, and I had to open. Hello. So I had to be just like waiting for you to set the shot up and like get the focus fucking racked. And I'm sitting there going like, all right, I'm like next to someone's diapers, and I hope it's a baby.
I remember Joe brought your name up, and I was like, Brandon Rogers. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. And he showed me one of your videos, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I totally know this dude. And it was from the video where you had a baby. And,
yes, the mom character.
Yes, the mom character.
Yeah.
Yes, that was like I feel like what everybody was talking about you at like, I don't know, 2 years ago, like when you had that video, everyone was talking about that video.
That's one of the ones I get recognized for certain things, and that's one of them. That it's there's only a few things that everyone will come up to me and say, you're from this, and that mom video is and thank God I was raised by a very like traditional American middle class like suburban mom. Like I have the most stereotypical upbringing, and so I was able to like, I can relate, write something that everyone can kind of. Right. I feel like everyone knows a mom like that at least.
Did you ever think about going into like acting, like traditional acting?
Yeah, I tried at first. I lived in San Francisco. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I tried getting in the traditional way, finding an agent. And I couldn't find an agent. I couldn't even find an agency that to sign with. I tried auditioning for independent films, which at the time was big because YouTube wasn't super huge. And so yeah, I just couldn't get my foot in the door. I tried. I went to college for it, and I realized you really can't get into acting based on a college degree. And then I just moved to LA, and I tried getting like through the side door, because the front door I tried over and over, just auditions and stuff like that. LA casting, actors access, whatever, backstage, whatever it's called.
Back pages.
No, that's the anal one, the one that I do, the dumpster stuff that I still do. But yeah, I tried everything to get into acting, and then I realized like, oh, if I can direct and I can control the music, I can control the cast and the props and the wigs and all this other stuff. I can control the whole mood, and therefore I can control the tone in which the scene is that I'm acting in. You know what I mean? Like so it's like if I really want to be known for a dramatic moment, for the fuck of it, I'll just write a dramatic moment into it. So it's in a way it's me getting my kicks with acting without having to go through the traditional front door.
I feel like you and Joe have such a fucking cool job. Like I was telling Joe this probably 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I was like, it's Sunday night, right? Tomorrow, like, you go back to like such a fun thing. You know what I mean? Like, most people go to like a 9 to 5, and like that's cool. You know, whatever floats your boat. But like, you guys have such a fucking cool job.
Well, Joe and I, you and I both worked slave jobs at one point, right? Like we worked really normal. Remind me where you worked at again?
Subway, Bank of America,
That's right,
TJ
Subway.
Maxx,
Yeah.
retail stores everywhere.
Same. I worked at Best Buy for a whole year, and then I worked I want to say 5 or 6 years, something like that, at a Best Western hotel, graveyard shift. Fucking hell, yeah. You get all the creepy shit that happens at a hotel overnight.
Do you have any crazy stories about that? About like,
I have a crazy story about a hotel, but from another job. I worked at a law firm when I moved to LA, and I filmed documentaries for the clients that, like, let's say you slipped and fell, broke your knee, you can't play with your kids anymore. Now you're trying to sue the grocery store that had a slick fucking floor. Hey, I can't play with my kids. I would come over and I would make a day in the life documentary, which is what I base my videos now off of still, where it's like just a documentary where it's like showing a day in their life, and it cuts to B-roll footage and overlaid with interview footage and so on and so forth. And we had to get the jury to cry or be sad for this person. So I had to edit these very emotional ones, and I thought to myself, well, wouldn't this be funny in a comedy format? And so that's how they start. But going back to the hotel thing, one of our clients was Elisa Lamb, or her family, from the Cecil Hotel, the girl in the water tank. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I talked to my old boss. I was talking with him recently, and he heard about the Netflix documentary. I was like, I haven't really been talking about this. I don't know if you wanted me to. He's like, oh no, yeah, we should have been talking about it from the get go. So, anyways, now I can talk about it.
Wait, so the law firm
Yeah.
represented her parents?
My boss, it's a man and a woman that run this firm. The woman is related to Elisa Lamb.
Oh, related to.
It's her family. It's her niece, I believe, or cousin, something like that.
So did you ever talk to about her?
It's a few years after, like 2 or 3 years after she was found in the water tank. And those of you who don't know, the Cecil Hotel is known for just countless deaths, murders, all kinds of crazy. And the most notable being this girl who wound up in like the water tank on top of the roof. And it was like this big mystery for a long time as to how she got in there. It was cool because we had her suitcase. And
What?
Yeah, it was really. It was like, it's like real. Like you see the the sweater, and like it was fucking. And everything was in like evidence bags because the police had turned it over. But it was so tragic because it's like I had to do a documentary on her, and I never finished it because I left to do YouTube full time. And so like he has the footage still, but I had to I went to the hotel, and they had
You went to the Cecil Hotel?
Yeah.
Guys, there's a Netflix documentary, Cecil Hotel. It's crazy. I haven't seen it, but it's crazy. Watch it. I still haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. It sounds fucking insane. You guys are talking about
fucking Richard Ramirez stayed there. People like just died all the time at this place.
Oh, yeah, that hotel.
Yeah, the hotel. Yeah.
Fuck, it's in LA.
It's in the news right now.
Oh, well, we should go.
No.
I don't know if they're still open, but no, they had me go there, and I remember the manager was not happy. You should watch the documentary because she's a character. She's like a lot of her in the documentary. But I remember when I went there, she was just not having me or any of us there, but like they agreed to let us go to the roof, and I had to go on top of the water tank with my camera and show how easy it was for her to like get inside of it.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is this water tank?
The story of it is that there's footage of her in the elevator, and she's acting weird. She's like looking out of the elevator. She's getting back in, and then she just disappears, and then she couldn't be found for a few days, and then someone found her in the water tank, and they don't know how she got up there.
You guys can stay there. They renamed it. It's now called Stay on Main Hotel. You guys can
Let's go. Let's go next weekend. Let's stay.
Okay, yeah, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you
You're
there.
gonna die.
Really?
You're gonna
Actually?
die.
Yeah, rent the room, and then I'll get there at like midnight.
The dead ass?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
He will be dead ass. You're gonna want to be past ass away. Yeah. Anyway, you should watch the documentary. It's creepy. But yeah. So
Let's watch a documentary while we stay there.
That's terrifying. Okay.
Okay.
One of your most viral videos, Grandpa at Disneyland, 27 million views. You just went in there in character.
I literally, holy shit, I've been waiting for the day someone asked me about this video because I'm not just gonna talk about it.
Dude,
you
how
know?
the fuck did you get away with that at Disneyland?
Yeah. Okay. So we get there, And it was such a it was such a fucking hassle just getting into the park because we show up and they see this camera. You know the camera. It looks like a big like video camera. It's clearly a video camera. It's not like a DSLR. You know, it's not for photos. The security was very much not having it, and so I was like, but like what is it about the camera that you just can't have a camera? I'm like, but everyone's filming. It's like one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world.
Are you in character at this point? Like, are you talking to him as an old man?
Grandpa without glasses and without white in my hair doesn't look. It's just me in a sweater vest and which is a little strange.
So you looked a little sus?
I looked quite sus because it's a bright yellow sweater vest. Anyways, I made this argument about the iPhones, and they were like, okay, well, let me grab my manager. I was like, okay. The manager came back, and like it was a long discussion that I was not a part of. They're like talking about it, and the manager comes up to me. He's like, or the supervisor or whatever you call it. He's like, yeah. Just don't disturb anyone. So we finally get in the park. I go in the bathroom. I get the white in my hair. I put on the glasses. I put on the makeup, and I go out. And we're about to do the scene right there on Main Street. The first shot, I want to get it in front of the castle in case we're not allowed around that area anymore. And fuck, I left the memory card in the car.
No!
Yep.
No.
So I go, and for those of you who've never been to Disneyland, it is like Moses through the fucking desert getting to the car. Like,
and
you have to part several seas and fight off the Jesus. And,
you're in character at this point?
Yes. And a lot of it was ADR too. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be screaming dildos in a gift shop when there's like a 5-year-old next to me, you know? And so,
oh, that's funny. I didn't know that was like that. That's cool.
But it taught me the art of ADR. Like I never try and mimic acoustics in post. I'm always like, okay, this is a gift shop. Where do I have that's like gift shop acoustics? You know, like I'll go to a friend's house and find like a room. I'm like, okay, this sounds like a gift shop echo, and just like record it in similar places.
Did they ever reach out to you about it or anything?
Disneyland?
Yeah.
No. Funny enough, I expected them to reach out about it to me, but no. But I have had locations attempt to sue me. Helen, the school we filmed at for Helen, they tried suing me about a year after that video was up. They said, we need you to take it down or we're going to pursue legal action. So I sent it to my old boss, the lawyer, and I was like, okay, help me here. What do I say? And he's like, oh, they don't have a leg to stand on. They said you weren't, because their argument was, you didn't tell us what you'd be filming here was immoral. It was a Catholic school. Oh. And so he says, you can't use the word immoral in a legal statement. And it's like, A, they have to prove that they've lost business because of your video. And B, people think SNL is immoral. So that doesn't, they have, you know. And I think I sent some email back being like, good luck or something. Oh my
God.
It's like, yeah.
One thing that's really cool about Brendan's videos is that he tries to make all of them timeless. So even if there is a logo, he'll always try and turn it around. And I think that's what makes a lot of the videos so special to watch whenever. That was one of the first things that I picked up when I was shooting with you, and I thought that was just the coolest thing.
Oh, thank you. Well, your videos are pretty timeless too. I think our video, like a lot of your sketches are timeless in the sense that they don't really hinge too much on current events. You know, we make fun of like, oh, it's a pilot. Oh, it's something that'll, you know, will be around in 30 years, you know? I think I learned that from The Office, actually. I think, and you and I both, you know, are both very inspired from that show. And I think what that show really nailed was like, it did get cultural, like pop referencey at times, but a lot of it was like, these are just workplace jokes that'll be funny in like another half century. And I think that's what I took away from it. I try and like emulate that in my videos where it's like, this is just a sketch about a clerk. You know, we'll have clerks in a few more generations and they'll be able to laugh at these videos. Oh my God. Speaking of the future, I fell down a fucking rabbit hole the other night. I watched a depressing video. Have you seen this video on YouTube called I think it's called A Journey to the End of Time? Or
wait, is it like they walk through like what'll happen in like a billion trillion years?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about this video. It was depressing because literally the universe will die one day. Everything inside the universe will be null and void, which they consider basically the end of time because there's nothing, not an ounce of light or life anywhere.
Yeah. And
it's just permanently just out, lights out forever. And it's just crazy to think about. No matter how good you feel, no matter what you accomplish today, it's all going to be just black one day, just nothing. And that video fucked hard with me. I also watched another one where it's like, how likely are we going to get hit by a comet? And it's basically we don't like. I thought we would know like a year from now. Yes, next year this thing might hit us. But no, it's like tomorrow. It's like, well, like we better get religious really fast.
Yeah.
Those any YouTube video about space or the universe just makes me feel like, well, fuck it. Let's.
The problem with those videos is like when you start with one at like 11 o'clock at night, you're on to like video 7. And it's like 1 a.m. You're like, what the fuck?
I know, it's like hours later.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, well, you think about all of your other friends productively sleeping right now, and just like they're all doing the right thing. I'm here learning about how hot dogs are made.
Sometimes you'll play 3 characters, 4 characters in your videos. Is that based out of it's easier to just do it on your own, or is it for comedic effect?
It's a little bit of showboating. You know, it's a little bit like I know that deep down people, like I'm impressed whenever someone pulls it off. I'm impressed when I pull it off. And it's just scenes where it's like, yeah, I could have had another actor play this role, but like, because people think that it's a choice because it's easier. It's not easier. When you play both characters, you're filming the scene twice. And you're having to remember where hands were, what heights you were at. You're having to switch costumes and find someone that's comfortable quickly swapping into your sweaty ass, like tight fitting bullshit and wigs and makeup. It's just like, so it's not a fun job for me, and especially for the double.
That was one of the most interesting things I thought, like when I first watched your videos, was how you were able to pull it off, that you're having a conversation with yourself and you're both characters, and I just thought it was so special.
It impressed me the first time I did it, or at least the first time I pulled it off. I was like, oh shit, like I buy that that's 2 people. And then I just started playing with that because I was then I got really, you know, it's like, oh, this is an avenue to get creative into. Like how many people can I have in a scene? You know, how many doubles would I need, and how would we shoot that, and what order would we film the different characters? I was very inspired off of like the Nutty Professor.
I was just gonna say Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, well, yeah,
He's
like
so
from
good
a
at that.
technical standpoint, I think that those scenes from both movies, but mostly the second one, really, are very, very impressive.
Wait, yeah, can you explain to me, like, when they're sitting, I've actually looked this up on, like,
Yeah.
Google, like, when they're sitting at their dinner table,
Yeah.
and they have 4 of the same person, like, how does that work?
Well, that's they do it. It's like different in every shot. It seems like there's some shots where it's just split screen, and he's just like, you know, like, but you know, they're not necessarily overlapping. All it is just having a portable green screen. Joe and I got this shot a couple years ago, and it's like it was a bunch of me in a row, but the perspective is true, and they're like in different costumes and whatnot, but they're like lined up in a row, like military style. And they all look at the camera at different times, and it was a very quick shot, but it was cool playing with, you know, you can have anyone anywhere as long as there's a green screen behind them.
The first time that I met Brandon, same thing with David, I was fucking mind blown. These fucking giants on YouTube edit their videos in iMovie, and it was just, wow. How do you have so many subscribers? How do you have so many views? And you edit these things in iMovie. It was so crazy.
I forgot you said that David edited an iMovie. That's right.
Mind blowing. Like when I saw your editing process for the first time, I was like, wait, what? No way.
Yeah, I still do. I still edit an iMovie.
I was like, how do you get those colors? Turn up the saturation? Like, what the fuck? It was so cool.
Obviously, turn up the saturation.
Nuts.
Have you ever seen Norbit?
Yes, that one's really...
That's a really good one, too, where they do that. Yeah.
They mix, yeah, it's very impressive. See, and because you could just look at it as like a 2-dimensional comedy and be like, oh, okay, he's in makeup. And first of all, Rick Baker, that makeup was fucking incredible. If anyone's ever seen Norbit, if not, I highly recommend it. Secondly, the cinematography. You know, it's a comedy where like it hits on all 6 cylinders. You know what I mean? Like it was like beautifully shot. The makeup was convincing, but then like it's also goofy comedy at the end of it, and like the jokes alone from all that stuff and it did horribly. Like no one liked it.
I don't know why. It's such a great movie.
I watched it semi recently, like about a year or so ago, and I still laughed.
I
had
laughed
a
too.
great
Yeah,
time. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's dating himself. Have you seen it?
No, I never saw it.
Oh, you'd love
it.
it.
So good.
Yeah.
He's like dating himself, and one's like a pushover, and one's like a big antagonistic, you know, contrary. And so, yeah, it's. I mean, it's sad. I feel like if that movie did better, we would probably have more of them.
You do a lot of public filming. Have you ever been kicked out of places, or anyone yelled at you for filming them?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was actually very recently got into an altercation at a park. I was doing a Helen video. And he kicked me. This guy just like started yelling at me. You know, like you got out of here. You got. There's kids here. There's kids here. And I'm in Helen, and I'm like semi in character. It's hard to just break out of it. So I fucking know how ridiculous I look. And this guy's like 25. You know, at the oldest. I'm like, okay, calm down, dude. You know, but like. in Helen, I'm like, the last thing I want are fucking kids in my video. And like, I'm like, trust me, we're not shooting your kids. And like, and he was like, you have to go. And so he's just like, and people are looking. And I've already been spotted by like 2 fans. And so I'm like, fuck, I hope they're nowhere near this, seeing this guy like yell at me as Helen. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, look, we're leaving. Because my rule of thumb is like, if anyone asks you to me to leave, I'm gone. So we get to the car and he is looking at us and he waits till we get to our car. And then he comes storming at us because he wanted to see which car was mine. And he just like, as I'm trying to get in my car, he's like yelling at me. Jude like steps in and like protects me and like, but then I started yelling back. And so he's trying to hold me back from the guy and I'm still out the wig and the glasses and like, and I was like,
Were you guys filming this at all or no? Too real?
I asked for him to keep rolling, but he did not want to keep rolling because it was very it was very, very real. But it was insane. The guy just was super angry, and I'm like, dude, how do you look at someone dressed like me? Like, this is a park, motherfucker. We're in Los Angeles. People do drugs here, okay? Homeless people fuck in the bushes, asshole. And you see me like dressed like this doing a video where we're not filming anyone. I was doing a scene where I was laying on the ground against a wall, and so we're not in anyone's way. And I'm just, how is that? And then going back to what I said earlier, it takes a special kind of miserable person to see that and their first reaction to be, this needs to be stopped. I need to put an end to this. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? He says, if this goes on YouTube, I swear to God. I said, motherfucker, I'm this close to calling the cops. I said, walk away now. And like, and he's like, good, call the cops. Good, call the cops. And Jude luckily shut it down. And I kind of had this snap reaction, which I'm sure some people could relate to, where it's kind of like you go from being afraid to being aggressive. Like you go from flight to fight, and you're like, fuck him for making me this afraid. Fuck him. And I saw every bully for like making me like not want to like, be myself and him. And I just kind of let it all out right there. And then I really just sort of forgot what I looked like. And
dude, can you imagine Helen just flipping out in a park?
If anyone filmed it, please send it to me. Slide it in my DMs because I would love footage of it. Because I was like for a moment quite blind with just anyone who triggers those things are just like makes me feel like I might be in danger, or he doesn't like me being myself, or so I kind of blacked out for a second, but it felt cathartic. It really felt cathartic letting go of fear. Well, because every time I'm filming in public, I'm quite afraid.
I'm terrified, dude. The most anxiety I had was when we filmed in Hollywood. We went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame and we filmed at the Chinese Theater, and we walked all around there.
Oh, yes.
Anytime there's a big crowd and we're like not making a scene, but we're like doing something obviously ridiculous in that moment, I got so scared because everyone's just looking at us.
I know Joe's look when he's afraid.
Me too. It happens like every other day.
I get so scared so quick.
It's funny because I can just picture looking at you from across the room and you being like, all right, Brandon, is this done?
Did we get it? Should we just call it here?
Just call it.
It's a funny concept that you guys say that like you get scared in public, but like then we talk about things like the universe ending and like there being no more life. You know what I mean? And it's like, does it really matter?
It doesn't matter at all. And it's like it's weird because we take the worst of each.
Ilya, look at this. Watch this.
So that's why I'm here. To get my revenge.
I mean, was she hotter? I'm just saying, I had a hard time understanding the unprompted melodrama you just spat at me,
Is that
Tits.
Dude, what? That's so cool. What is that?
This is Brandon's animated series called Hell of a Boss. There's 104,000 comments, 22 million views from 4 months ago, 1,200,000 likes on it. That's fucking crazy.
What the fuck? Where did this come from?
He doesn't talk about this stuff. He does like everything, but he doesn't talk about it.
In all fairness,
We're talking about you fucking screaming at somebody in fucking costume at a park, and you have a fucking obviously super successful fucking.
well, I had to credit the show. I did not create the show. That was all the designs and everything. It was Vivian Madrano who made that Vivzy Pop. But yeah, we didn't. I don't even think she knew. And if she did know, then she was a psychic genius. But none of us knew how big that show was going to get when at least I didn't realize the magnitude of it when I was doing it. And
is it only on YouTube?
It's only on YouTube, yeah.
Is it like you have to subscribe to watch it, or is it
totally free?
Wow.
It started as a passion project, and now it's like a fully function. Like it's ran like a real TV cartoon, with I get a call sheet. I have to go to the studio in Burbank. I have to, like, it's a full-on production now, and I don't know how much I can say about the future of it, but I just know that everything, like, we have like the entire, like, we have seasons out, like, laid out in our heads of how it's gonna go. And I'm one of 3 writers on this show, which is cool because you get a lot of control over the story if there's only 3 of you.
That's sick.
Yeah, and all 3 of us usually, like, actually not even usually, every time we agree. If one idea cancels out another idea in terms of just being better, it's like the person who concedes is, there's no, like, it's like, okay, yeah, that's better, go with that.
Do you want this to be on television, or do you want to keep it on YouTube?
My understanding is that we are open to, or she, the creator Vivian, is open to it going on television, but it's pretty sustainable right where it is. Like, it's getting all of the traction we want it to have, and it's...
Has that been done before? Like, has an animated series or any series been transitioned to television?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm
from
very,
YouTube.
From YouTube.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm very new in the animated world, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But I'm sure there's got to be. I mean, I know of people who have propelled from YouTube into film and television.
Right.
Like Donald Glover and Ellie Kemper from The Office. You know, they were in the Derek comedy thing.
And Practical Joker started out on YouTube.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, they were called the Tenderloins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I hope we get to do this again, or with or without the mics, or just not even rolling. We could hold mics and just drink coffee and spill tea.
Hell yeah! Well, Brandon, thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me. I am getting paid for this.
Yeah, Ilya's gonna comp you, and he's gonna give you a ticket for the parking garage.
Yeah, and a free car.
And a free car. Oh yes,
But it's not like a cool car. It's just like a regular car.
That's, hey, as long as it's somewhere in the 90s. That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
era. Those are good cars.
Honda Accord 92.
Oh yeah.
Guys, check out Brandon Rogers on YouTube.
And check out Joe Elvis and Ilya. Ilya, what's your last name?
Fedorovich.
Fedorovich.
Wow, you said that really well.
Fedorovich. Ilya Fedorovich. Check him out on YouTube and Instagram and wherever. Just look him up in a bar. In a search bar or a
Look me
real
up on
bar.
Google search.
On Google, he look him up on email.
Lightweights out.